So, over the weekend at D23 in Brazil, the boy Kevin Feige dropped some freaking F-bombs and some major reveals about the future of the Scarlet Witch, the future of Deadpool and Wolverine, and when the X-Men and how the X-Men may actually come to the MCU sooner than you actually think. No, this is not coming from some scoopers. This is literally coming from the head of Marvel Studios. So there were some really interesting reveals from Kevin Feige alongside the trailer for Captain America 4. We've done a video on it. The trailer actually looks really cool and a pretty interesting new look at the Thunderbolts, which I did not expect, seeing it's not coming out till May, and Marvel should really concentrate on getting Captain America 4 up to scratch. So if you are new around here, the freaking hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, become a channel member for less than 99p to help keep the lights on. Okay, that's a joke. Usually I don't actually have lights on, but it's a joke. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into this video. So, it's very interesting what Kevin Feige had to say about the Scarlet Witch's return. So, Kevin Feige said this: I can only say that we are excited to find out when and how the Scarlet Witch can come back. As we know, any decent company will follow social media trends, see what is trending, and pretty much throughout the whole season of Agatha All Along, Scarlet Witch Wanda was trending. Now, we all know this rumor that she's got a massive role to do with Avengers Doomsday and will have some kind of story with Dr. Doom RDJ. Realistically, unless they're going to slide it into slider into DMs of Vision Quest, that is realistically the only other place where it would make chronological sense to slide her in. But the fact that the head of Marvel Studios has said that, and it's also backed up with the actress Elizabeth Olsen basically coming out and saying, I can't really say anything because that would basically be a spoiler. We've spoken about that on a different video. Go check it out. I'll leave it at the end of the card, end of the video. So we know Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, is returning. It's clearly obvious. At the end of Agatha All Along, Billy Wiccan is going looking for Tommy. They're going to do some variation of the Cape Crusade. Whether that will be Agatha All Along Season 2 but realistically, it's really hard for them to do that unless it's in like the Young Avengers or New Avengers movies. So either way, Marvel fans can rejoice because she's like the mother of the MCU for some freaking weirdos call her the mother of the MCU, which is interesting. So also, Mr. Kevin Feige did say something about when and if Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds can return. He had this to say. Feige stated that the studio is eager to include both characters in as much as possible, noting the following: they're always wondering where we can fit them in and how fast. The plans with Deadpool and Wolverine will always be the same. We're always wondering where we can fit them in and how fast. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to show up in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. I mean, it would make sense to put them in Avengers Secret Wars, let's be honest. So essentially, Kevin Feige has learned from the previous mistakes made post-Endgame by making things for the sake of making it. I personally think it would be a mistake to make a sequel to Deadpool and Wolverine. Just use the characters when and if they can. And also, it's not up to them. It's up to, actually, if Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman actually want to return. Both busy guys. Ryan Reynolds runs a media company, marketing company. He owns a football team. He's also an actor. They've both got very busy lives. So it's a case of if and when. Sure, I think now they've introduced Lady Death via Agatha All Along. Lady Death needs to meet King Thanos. And she also needs to meet Deadpool because they have a huge storyline in the comics. But Marvel doesn't really follow the comics. So we've all heard the rumblings that the Blade movie might actually be coming. But Kevin Feige had some words. Marvel Studios president assured fans they're up to date with what's happening when it comes to changing the direction with the project, and confirmed that Blade will indeed make it to the MCU, which is actually pretty cool because Mahershala Ali is such a talented actor. And the Blade movie, the first Blade movie, it's really the catalyst of the whole MCU superhero movement. If you like, without Blade, there'd be no Marvel. So let's run it. He said, whenever we change direction with a project or still trying to figure out how it fits into our schedule. We let the public know. You're up to date with what's happening, but I can tell you that the character will indeed make it to the MCU, which is cool. But also when Wesley Snipes said, I'm the only Blade there, Ribby. And because of all the delays, pushing everything back, at the moment, Wesley Snipes' line in Deadpool is technically iconic because it was kind of trolling, kind of said in a funny way. But at the moment, that's actually pretty funny and it's actually pretty true. So, also, what was said, X-Men will be coming after Secret Wars. We've all heard about the Mutant Saga. When is it actually coming? So, Kevin Feige confirmed the X-Men will join the MCU. He noted that the mutants will play a major role in the franchise, especially after Avengers Secret Wars in 2026. He emphasized that unlike with Avengers Endgame, Marvel has a clear plan for the narrative leading up to and beyond Secret Wars, which is cool. They've actually got a freaking plan, because let's be honest, they had no plan after Endgame. It was kind of rushed. And the whole, what happened in the world kind of slowed things down. With the X-Men being an important part of the future, which is cool, because most people over the age of like 25 grew up watching the X-Men animated series, so on and so forth. There's been so many X-Men video games that literally everyone's played. But he said this. This is the actual quote. When we're preparing for Avengers Endgame, years ago, it was about reaching the big finale of our narrative. And after that, we had to start everything over again. This time on the road to Secret Wars, we already know very well what the story will be up to that point and beyond. The X-Men are a very important part of the future, which is cool because that's reassured a lot of fans. A lot of fans have wanted this for a very long time, which is cool. Whilst Deadpool and Wolverine worked on the pseudo send-off of the 20th Century Fox universe, the expectation is the new set of mutants and actors will take the MCU to new heights in late 2027, which is cool. Beyond Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel Studios is also utilizing newly acquired 20th Century Fox to finally use the Fantastic Four characters. With the up-and-coming Fantastic Four movie coming out next summer, July 2025, which is freaking sick. And let's just hope they finally do the Fantastic Four correct. And with RDJ Doctor Doom being really a Fantastic Four villain, although in the MCU they're going to make him an Avengers multiversal threat villain, which is it's a bit wild, but the whole scenario with Kang and Jonathan Majors couldn't have been avoided, to be honest. So that's pretty much the big punchlines of what Mr. Kevin Feige had to say in Sao Paulo in Brazil. There was also a new trailer for Captain America 4 and a new look at Thunderbolts, which has got a lot of people speculating that Ghost may die. So it says this. It showed an extended scene of most of the Thunderbolts, Yelena, Red Guardian, US Agent, and Ghost, being chased by tanks, which are then taken out by Bucky Barnes. Goes on to say, many other shots were similar to the first trailer, but one notable line was given by Val. I mean, this place wasn't cheap, but it's got good optics. So that was basically telling you that it was Val that bought the Avengers Tower, and you can clearly see this in the trailer. That's been rumored for the longest time possible, but it is cool that it does look like something will be happening with the Avengers Tower. And does that actually mean that Val's going to control the Dark Avengers from the Avengers Tower? Oh my god, that is such a sick-ass theory. So, that's over with the official news. Let's go over some random news. So, someone on Twitter had this to say, Doctor Doom will have the same goal that he had in Secret Wars comics. I mean, essentially, that tells me that this scooper has no freaking idea what you're talking about. So what does that mean? Essentially, it means this. He believes the only way to save the multiverse is for him to rule it. And I guess he's kind of right. I guess he is kind of right. So is that a scoop, saying that he's literally going to save the multiverse? So in 2005 Secret Wars, the multiverse was on the brink of collapsing. Doom takes a godlike centric role to save a fragment of it. He created Battle World with the fragment of various realities, ruling and becoming Emperor Doom. A universe without chaos. And unpredictably not bad. Interesting, but they're going to have to change things around a little bit. If a guessing person would say, I guess this storyline would slap because it will show a villain with rational motivations. You know, Thanos' motivations weren't really rational because he wasn't trying to impress Mischief Lady Death, because she realistically wasn't there. Deadpool and Wolverine showed us that the universe is very fickle. We already know that. With the Kang Wars, what was probably going to make it start dying, Doom steps in to save it. And of course, because of what happened in Loki, Season 2, now he's God Antless Loki, or God Loki. Loki's gonna have to be involved in this storyline. So it does basically confirm what insiders have been saying, but it also confirms that Beyonder is going to have to freaking appear in some capacity. So it really sets a scoop to say, yeah, he's going to have the same motivations as the comics. To me, that tells me that you know absolutely nothing of what's coming, but the motivations in the comics, you know, I'm transparent and honest on this channel. I don't have a good history when it comes to the comics. With Marvel Comics, with DC Comics, much, much better. So his plan is just basically save the multiverse by destroying it, because it's at the brink of freaking collapsing. It could be a very good storyline. And with RDJ winning Best Supporting Actor for Mr. Oppenheimer movie, let's hope they bring Cillian Murphy in to be the real Oppenheimer. Ha, joking. You see what I did there, to be the real Doctor Doom? I really, really hope we get to see him. So that's your wrap up of all the latest from your boy Kevin Feige, and what some scoopers have come out and said recently. Although that's not really new information, is it? No, let's be honest. So we'll get an X-Men in 2027. Sick. Scarlet Witch is going to return at some point. Sick. Deadpool and Wolverine compare if it makes sense. Sick. So realistically, Kevin said nothing that we didn't already know. Kevin's just come out and confirmed things officially, which is so freaking nice. So let us know, what is Doctor Doom going to do in Secret Wars? I'm here for it. He's going to have to build it up from the Fantastic Four movie, if not there. He's going to have to massively have an origin story somewhere. Would make sense to kind of introduce him in the Fantastic Four movie, come to think about it. So like always, guys, become a channel member. It really helps keep the lights on. Check us out on Instagram at WarstuJ. Check us out on Twitter at WarstuJ. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.